Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
I had to remind myself suddenly this is not an extended opening. Don't get up. Got to get up. Howdy, all. Welcome to our season finale of Where No Man Wants to Go reviews, where we have been steadily making Warp 1 progress through Starfleet Academy season 1. And oh, what a tangled, retarded web it tried to weave. But it literally, it was just bad in the end here. This finale, we were wondering the whole time, what's the big reveal? What's the big plan? What's this? And in the end, it was just between plot and characters and everything. And man, I'm both happy and sad it's over. I'm happy it's over because it's just dumb. But I'm sad because it was content. It was regular content every week that I could lock in on, and it kind of guided the week. But now it's gone and it's over. Anyway, Jed, who's the little white girl on accounts surrounded by Spectrum employees right now. How you doing?
Yeah, I am most definitely not traveling at warp speed, even warp 1 right now. I'm working my way up to impulse. All right. Someday I'll get to impulse power, but I'm here. Camera probably won't be on at all, and I might dip in and out a little bit, but I need to be here for this discussion. This is the end. We need to, put a bow on it, put the second bookend in, and just close the chapter on season 1. Because yeah, like you said, I think this was the most boring episode of the season. I think that was its biggest crime. There were no big reveals. It was a trial. And not even like a Q level trial, like a Q in an Encounter at Farpoint trial. You're on the edge of your seat for that because there are real stakes in that. And then this one, it's just like, just slap some glue on it. It's just so boring.
Oh, don't worry, Mommy She-Hulk, she's the best ever at fixing stuff. Dermy, you watched this at double speed last night.
Yeah, I watched it at double speed, and it really came about how little content there truly is. I don't really remember Mommy She-Hulk's insufferable speech. Like, I tuned in and out. Even at 2x speed, it felt too long.
It was terrible.
All I really remember thoroughly was that the big bad hates the Federation because his dad destroyed his own planet, and he was wrong the whole time.
That's kind of the core of Paul Giamatti's character. That
he's just a man baby.
He's
literally
a man baby. Yeah. And there's so much other things. Brad is tied up with real life right now. He may be able to join us since we started later than normal. And thank everybody for joining us at this later start time. It could not be helped because I had to make myself look pretty getting a haircut, and it got delayed today. So we are now starting live. So welcome to everybody across the chats. We're happy to have you here. Hit those like buttons, sit back, relax, and let's get this over with one last time for this year, because I don't think we'll be getting season 2 till at least next year, or the very earliest December would be my guess. But anyway, so here we are. See episode 10, the finale, the big reveal of Paul Giamatti's plan is to put the Federation on trial.
Utilizing the Chancellor lady who can't speak.
Yeah, Holly Hunter.
Broadcasting it on VNN.
I know. I neglected to make fun of that during my review, but the Venari Raw News Network. Seriously?
I mean, Alex Kurtzman wasn't lying that it's all about now to him.
Yeah.
It's all about the current day message. And he was right to a certain point in the purest sense when he said science fiction is a great way to, see the modern day reflected in the future. There are ways that you can make that work, but that's not the point of Star Trek. It's a tertiary thing that happens with Star Trek. It's not the goal.
Well, I mean, if we're supposed to be seeing the modern day throughout Star Trek, I really just want the meteor. Jesus Christ, end it all. Bring out the Borg. Do something.
Bring out that Omega 47 and just blow us all up.
I know. Now, I do have a statement from Brad in case he can't make it about the court, since Brad is a lawyer who has actual trial room experience. But I'm going to give him a chance to get here so he can say it himself. So if we get to a point where it looks like Brad might be here, I will give Brad's statement on that he sent me about how this isn't even remotely a trial. But
what? Judge, jury, and executioner shouldn't be a direct victim of the defendant?
Well,
what?
Here's the thing. Tatiana Salami, Mommy She-Hulk. That's what I'm calling her now in various
Salami.
I fumbled her name. Mine. I fumbled her name at one point during the review, and I said I'm going to call her Tatiana Salami from now on.
It's perfect. I love it.
It works. She can have my salami.
Nah, she doesn't do it for me at all.
Ew. Especially not in this. With her pixie cut.
There's something about her.
Hey, you know what? To each their own. But she's so unappealing. I had for half a second in what's it called? Orphan Black. I found her attractive for half a second in that one, and then I just like, never mind. But Tatiana Salami, Mommy She-Hulk, making her. So we get to a point when the trial begins. After we're going to jump back and forth, but after people are taken off the Athena saucer section and brought back to the Athena rest of it for the trial,
atrium. That's all they talk about is that the atrium is in the nacelles. That's it.
Yeah. She gets to be the judge in the jury for this trial. And she gives this speech that is just essentially, boiling it down, everybody else is at fault for my mistakes. Is that right? Did I say that right, Jed? Is that essentially what her speech is? Everybody else is at fault for my mistakes.
Essentially, because even when Holly Hunter is saying, hey, you killed an actual member of the Federation with a family, you are at fault here, she's just like, well, there was food on it, so it's not my fault. She really is trying to obfuscate her blame. And the show wants you to believe that Mama She-Hulk is not responsible for that. But like, just like Brad talked about in the first episode review, she's still culpable. She's still an accomplice to murder.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if you're the getaway driver or not. You're going down for murder. Sorry.
And she, of course, changes her mind on the flip of a dime when Caleb does his speech at the end as well. But it's none of it's her fault. It's the Federation's fault. And then for some reason, it's suddenly Paul Giamatti's fault. And she gets to man baby punch him. But nothing's ever her fault. And the show takes that opinion. The show actually believes that she did nothing wrong.
Yeah. It tries to ham-fistedly have her, as you say, suddenly flip on it and realize, oh, maybe the Federation's not so bad. But you're right. She never actually takes responsibility. Even when Holly Hunter paints the case of, this is the family that you destroyed through your actions. You've been crying about your family being destroyed, but you also destroyed a family. She never actually admits, says, I'm sorry for killing. Does she ever actually say, I'm sorry for being involved in the murder of somebody?
No remorse whatsoever.
No, it's more like she looks at the ground for a second and then that's it. Like, she doesn't really say like, hey, I'm sorry. I can't believe I did this. Oh my God, I didn't think that way. Mm-hmm. It's just, I look shocked for a moment and that's it.
And listen, Tatiana Maslany, her expressions are comical.
She can't express anything.
Yeah.
So over the top.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got a good one for my thumbnail with her tongue like this. I got a good one for that. But so she, and I know Brad was telling me this is one thing I will say for Brad. Brad was commenting to me in DMs while he was watching it because he knew he wouldn't be able to be here. He thinks she's the worst character in the show now. He despises her because she's insufferable and she takes no responsibility. I mean, that's bullet point for what he was telling me. But I mean, now you kind of see where I guess Caleb gets everybody else's fault or supposed fault personality before
the victim mentality.
Yeah, the victim mentality. Good way. Yeah, better way to put it. Thank you. His victimhood mentality. You see where he gets it because she raised him that way for 6 years. It's everybody else's fault, but ours.
Insufferable.
Yeah. So I mean, Jed, you and I just did drive-in an hour ago, and we talked about the fact that in order to get behind characters, you have to find some sort of legitimate connection to root for them. Between her and everybody in this show, we're not rooting for anybody in this show, are we?
Why would you root for them? They're actually horrible people. Like Aki, I know I talk about her a lot. I hate her so much. She is an immoral character and a horrible human being. Well, not a human being, but I think the same's true for most of them. A lot of them are just bad people.
I was rooting for Paul Giamatti.
I wasn't rooting for him because he's a clown.
He was the only good character here because he's the only one actually trying to do something. That's the only reason I was rooting for
Paul
him.
Giamatti's actually a talented actor, so some of that comes through despite the bad writing.
Yeah, I mean, he acted.
It's just because he's Paul Giamatti. That's the sole reason I root for him, because it's like, fuck the Federation. You're all awful. Everybody else is awful. Just blow it all up.
Well, who is there to root for? Aki is an immoral person who puts children in danger constantly. Caleb flip-flops whether or not he's for or against something at every opportunity. There's zero consistency. Princess Mulvaney has no character. Jaden's gay. Besides that, he has no character. Genesis is Admiral's daughter who doesn't want to be Admiral's daughter, who's an Admiral's daughter. That's all she is. And who needs to pee and is afraid of being perfect.
All right.
I hated that moment.
I lost it. Between that and when we get to finding mommy through psychic connection moment. Oh, God. That was one moment I loved because I even clipped it out as a quick video. This show specialized in disrespecting the captain's chair. Finally, Genesis, the Admiral's daughter, gets her moment. She's given command of the bridge while Tig Notaro's going to go dispense space lesbian wisdom and engineering to Caleb. And they bake this whole moment, the music, looking back and forth, the smiling, the nodding, and then it's, wait, I think I have to pee.
But Adam, it funny. It funny.
I made it funny.
I hate modern humor. I think it's James Gunn's fault because of the Guardians. As much as Guardians of the Galaxy, I do think those first two movies are actually good. That style of humor where no emotional moment can really ride without being undercut by a joke, it's become prevalent. It's cancerous. And Joss Whedon. I think they were both good at it, but everybody else trying to replicate it, it's become a cancer.
Yeah,
like, it's fine to have funny moments in the show, but like in Project Hail Mary, I talk about it in my review that will come out as soon as I can get it uploaded. It's a comedy. There's a lot of comedy in it, but it never sacrifices the serious moments in favor of a joke.
Yeah.
It'll let you cry. It'll let you feel what the characters are feeling. And that's so rare these days because, that moment should have been epic. They won't even let epic moments ride. Not even just sad moments.
One of the things I was doing today, other than like cleaning or rearranging some stuff, I also had like Night of the Museum on. Night of the Museum is a comedy. That's what it is. It's a comedy, but they still have those emotional moments, that emotional depth that make you like root for everybody. Here, it's just, hey, we're gonna do a quip real quick because we don't want you guys feeling sad or sorry or having emotion real quick. We're gonna do a funny. Didn't you guys?
And
laugh?
actually say, I made a funny laugh.
That was a bad line for Paul Giamatti.
That was terrible. And here, what is it with the writing for his character where he's constantly using current day Earth lingo, jokes, French?
Because they're not
and playing tic-tac-toe. And now I guess we understand why he's got the tic-tac-toe shaved into his head.
Well, Adam, the reason he talks that way, the reason they all talk that way, they don't have some sort of like difference between their languages, except for Jaden, but that's just because he puts cock in his mouth. The reason they talk so modern day is because that's what the writers know. The writers don't think of anything else. They don't have that ability to go like, okay, so this person is from this planet. Maybe they have a French accent. Maybe they speak more French. Maybe this place is more elegant, so they're going to have a more elegant accent, use bigger words, things that Dermy doesn't understand. They don't have that capability.
You're only as good as your writers.
Yeah.
And
they have no creativity.
None. But you have Now, you talk about epic moments. We talked about it last week, and I left the door open. Were they going to have the moment where the kids came together as a crew and used what they learned at Starfleet Academy to save the day? No, it was Tig Notaro giving orders and giving them grades.
Well, she was telling them it's pop quiz time. We need you to do this stuff. And if you fail, if you hesitate for a second, I'm going to deduct points from you. I'm sorry. The hesitation was, oh yeah, I need to do this. Just recollect it. Points deducted because you didn't do it fast enough. Fuck you. I can't say that word on stream.
Well, it's a life or death situation. You're not teaching them right now.
Yeah.
You're in charge. Give them orders. Don't quiz them. Don't ask, "Hey, what should we do?" Tell them, because she claimed to have the same ideas as them.
Yeah.
I think she was just fishing for answers and pretending that they were hers. But in my review, I made a comparison of that moment where there's, an officer dealing with inexperienced people. Picard in the elevator with the 10-year-olds.
Ooh, I actually know that episode.
Good one.
And he understands, yes, these kids obviously don't know what they're doing, but first I need to instill confidence in them, get them calm, and then we can work together for a solution. So him giving them the pips, talking to them like they were adults, it made them calm down. And yeah, he ordered them around, but in a positive way that was affirming their confidence.
I actually know that episode because I remember him singing Forever Jacques.
Oh, hey,
yeah.
Hang on.
And Picard hated kids, and he knew how to do that better.
He hated Picard Day, but here we go. Jim Herman brings this up. You talk about Isaac Newton. We've seen what bad writers do with Isaac Newton, don't we, fellas? And Shooty who?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh! Now Dermy's
Mavity.
Don't fucking remind me.
Mavity.
It's not just
and making
Mavity.
him gay, making him a brown man and making him gay.
They made him, I think, Indian or Pakistani. They made him gay.
Mm-hmm.
They turned him into a brown. They made him say Mavity. Don't know why. Why the fuck were you say Mavity? What?
Oh no,
why?
no.
Why?
We're crossing the streams right now.
No, so the reason Mavity's a thing is because, the Doctor and Donna had crashed into the tree above him and caused the apple to fall. And I think it was the Doctor, it might have been Donna, who was like, gravity, Mavity, just like a rhyming thing. Like, it's just gravity, Mavity. And Isaac Newton only heard Mavity.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that Apple story's not true. So I doubt anyone,
but
the
point
know
is,
that.
We've seen Jim Herman mentioned that, but we've seen what they do with. We have we just gave you the perfect example of what bad writers will do with a historical character. They have fucked it up, so they don't know what they're doing. But you had the chance, and I said, will they do it? But no. Instead, the kids did nothing. And I bring it back to what I said last week. You had a whole season to give them each an individual episode where they learned something, where they learned a skill for being an officer on the bridge or engineering or anything. And imagine if they had done episodic stories for each of these cadets throughout the season. And here it is, the moment, we're going to bring together all our collective knowledge for our different stations, and we're going to get out of this ourselves instead of being ordered around by a space lesbian.
Why did Jaden? Why did space lesbian woman send Jaden to the med bay to be the doctor? That makes
that's what he wants to do. In the first episode, he's like, "I'm a pacifist. I hate violence. I actually want to be a medic." And in the first episode, he helped. What was it? Gym teacher. He had to do some first aid on gym teacher.
He's done all of 2 medical things this entire season. He helped Jem'Hadar hybrid lesbian gym teacher seal up her wound, and he made the fake eyeball during the prank war.
So then what skills does he have to take care of a
catching?
Not
catching.
I don't know. Glitching? Is it a
catching.
glitching fucking hologram? I don't fucking even know what the fuck was going on there. Takes off his badge. All of a sudden, the thing happens, and now he's freaking out.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't even know what the hell happened.
We pointed this out. Fishboy had a chance during Laser Tag to go on the
chance to be an actual character.
He had a chance right there. And that was the episode where they fumbled his character. He had a moment where he could have been beaten down, got defeated, and then rallied himself, learned from the mistakes, and come back, learned how to be a better leader. Instead, he handed everything over to Genesis and said, you take over. And ever since then, he's just been pining for some of that gay Klingon love. To the point now where his whole story arc, his whole story arc is, guess what? You're going to be a pilot. Congratulations. You're just the next Sulu.
But they've all had episodes like that. Take a look back over to when they had the random fucking shit going on, and it's not really an episode, but it was Jaden, Genesis running around the school, and not Jaden, Caleb and Genesis. Jaden was being gay with Fishboy. Mm-hmm. Genesis had a chance to have a story arc there, and then they just made her a bitch.
Yeah, well,
then you take a look over at Sam's episode when you had the whole like night shit and whatever the fucking play they were talking about. Mm-hmm. There was an episode potential there. Drop the ball. Everybody's had a chance to have that episode, but they just didn't give them the episode. They thought you wanted the episode. They thought they did a story, but they never did. Hell, even go back over to when they had the Klingons. Now they're all weird, and Jaden's two dads don't even want to fucking deduce all that stuff. What was the message of that episode again? Wasn't it just that
surpass your limits? I don't know. I'm just saying that because I'm watching Black Clover.
Is it just pacifism and nobody dying actually makes you a great warrior?
Yeah, accepting who you
winning,
are.
No, winning doesn't necessarily mean fighting. Because or giving up means winning. I don't know. That episode was
it doesn't make sense. But you pointed out, Dermy. So with the exception of Jaden or Caleb flip-flopping every episode, his character arc, they did have a single character arc, guys. Don't you guys remember? Well, I say arc. It's actually just a flip of a switch. Sam's different in this episode.
Oh, well, because she went through a montage.
She went through a montage, which it wasn't even the actress. It was just a bunch of little black girls.
But that's the whole point is, remember, she did that montage. Now she's an entirely different person, and we don't even know. And she's super connected to the Doctor now.
Okay, well, he's her dad because they had a montage of a life together.
And
but here's the thing.
She knows how to speak him.
Now, I got this wrong in my review. Brad went and checked on it and told me to correct myself, which is why Brad is great because he'll remember this little shit and he'll go check it up and make sure we get it right. Apparently, so the whole want to talk about character relationships that got no time. Genesis and Sam, they're besties, but tell me an episode where we got an entire episode of them being besties and doing something. Tell me.
Did they drink together over at the club?
No, because remember, all it was getting a switch flipped and Sam was drunk. But to my point on this, I said in my review, all right, Jed's having internet issues. He'll be back.
Spectrum's on the spectrum.
It
is what it is.
He's getting railed by the spectrum. All of it. So I made a mistake in my review. I said that what is this language they're talking? Apparently, according to Brad, he reminded me that they did talk about that in the pilot, in the first episode. I forgot. That's already 2 months ago. And while I remember a lot of stuff, that little thing, which never came up again in the entire season, of course I wasn't going to remember that. So they do have a language. But Dermy, you know what I love about their little language that brought them together? You saw the line, "Greetings, fellow traveler," right? Do you know what that means in the real world? Do you know what that
in the real world, wouldn't that be the meaning that essentially it would be something that you would end up saying to another explorer or somebody else that's going around and stuff?
No.
Okay, what does it mean?
The actual meaning, that exact phrase, that's how the commies greeted each other in the 20th century. Greetings, fellow traveler.
Are we on Jed's channel as well? I'm trying to decide.
Yeah, we are.
Do I want to? Okay, I can't take down two channels at once.
It is literally the phrase that communists used to identify each other in the 20th century.
Hey, but don't Adam, listen. Fuck, I can't remember the guy who made Star Trek. I know
Gene Roddenberry. Gene Roddenberry was a progressive.
Roddenberry was a super commie. Don't you remember? He was a super commie. Everything's about communism. No. Star Trek equals communism.
He was a progressive. He wasn't a commie. He was a progressive. Which is borderline commie, but
I still remember the article from that Star Trek put out with a cosplay artist saying that the only way to actually get our Star Trek future is through communism.
Yeah, sure.
That was years ago. I still remember that one.
But so when I saw that, if you watch my review, I lost my shit and I gave a whole little speech. Like they aren't even hiding it. And they even had freaking Stephen Colbert saying greetings, fellow travelers at the end there.
What do you
we know he's a blatant fucking commie. Point is, though, their whole little language is basically saying communism, hey, hi. But take that little part out. Their whole thing about their relationship, it's non-existent. Am I right? I mean, you still haven't seen the first 3 episodes, have you?
No.
But from episode 4 on, what has been their relationship?
Their relationship between Genesis and Sam, they were apparently in the same room together. And honestly, I go back to, like, I think it was episode 5. That's when we get the first, like, Sam episode, when it's all about her doing her
emissary.
Yeah, the emissary. Okay.
Yeah.
So I go back to that episode, and I'm sitting here, I'm thinking that was when they magically started showing that everybody loves Sam, and you have all those greetings and stuff that I legitimately thought was just in her head. I thought she was schizophrenic.
No, it's real. It was real.
No, it was all real. But moving from that point on, magically Genesis and her are the bestest of best buddies. So much so that once they had the whole the shit going down on the ship, the next episode when they do the whole, like, hey, separate adventures, Genesis and her are having, like, that heart to heart, going like, well, I'm going to this digital spa to have a spa day, and they're talking like bestest best friends.
But where's the episode, Jed? Since you did see them all and Derby didn't, where's the episode of Genesis and Sam being more than walking around holding hands occasionally?
They barely share any lines together. There's no story there. It's all off screen. It's like, yeah, the roommate. Of course, they're best friends. You definitely know college-age girls are immediately going to be friends with everyone, right? They're actually famous for not being catty.
Even as a dude, I was in my own dorm room with 2 other guys. We were not the bestest of friends.
Oh, I hated my original roommate in college. In fact, I drove him out. So I had a single the entire second semester.
My original roommates drove another dude, drove one of the guys out, and then the second chance they tried to drive me out because they were all awful individuals. Yeah, I hated them.
When you're thrust into a situation with strangers like that, it's horrible. Eventually, if you do the roommate thing, you room with somebody you get along with. But roommates, it's a terrible situation. It's horrible. And they became besties ever immediately because Sam was this, as she said, I was just a retarded nubile puppy and I followed you around.
I hated that section of the episode. Genesis finally has her big triumphant moment, ruins it with the joke, right? But then she gives up command 2 seconds later to give therapy to a friend. Therapy later saves your life right now. And of course, they don't even let Darum or Fishboy have his moment after she leaves.
Yeah, because he's just a pilot.
He's just a pilot now. He doesn't matter.
It's lucky that Sam and the doctor held the key to saving the day.
By the way, when it came to the language stuff, that's what I was talking about, because I did it magically, because Jaden goes like, wait, people have emotional connections and can deduce what the other person's talking about. Maybe you guys can deduce what the fuck he's talking about, even though he's going on.
Even though he's basically using dementia speak.
Yes.
But that's the whole retardedness of this. Because the script needed it, while the doctor was merged with the Athena computer, he figured out how to stabilize the Omega-47 particle, which an entire team of Starfleet scientists couldn't do
for 800 years.
Yeah,
couldn't do.
Yeah,
and it's put some glue in it. They were right. Gluon is, a subatomic substance that keeps, quartz together. They were right about that. But you can't just add more of it to make unstable compounds stable. That's not how that works.
I don't think you ever tried that. You know what? I'm not going to believe you, Jed. I'm just going to go start throwing glue on everything and see if that fixes it.
They just saw that gluon was the thing, and they're like, "Yeah, it'll just glue it shut."
And Rubin particles. What the fuck are Rubin particles?
I have no idea what Rubin
sandwich is. It a sandwich?
Yeah, it comes with corned beef, sauerkraut, some Thousand Island dressing, a little bit of.
I'm not a fan of a Reuben. I don't like a Reuben. I don't like a Reuben. I just
No,
Well,
they just picked Reuben because it sounded like Rubicon, and they wanted
yeah,
to sound
well, there you
smart by
go.
making that reference.
Well,
There
they
you go.
he did say Rubicon for a little bit, didn't he? He was like,
Yeah,
oh,
Well,
as
that's
in
the title of the
Caesar
episode.
crossing the Rubicon.
That's the title of the episode, Rubicon, the actual title.
Which there was no analog for crossing the Rubicon here.
Yeah,
It was just made themselves feel smart by referencing something smart.
yeah.
It's
And,
irrelevant.
yeah. So, and all this time. So, here's the biggest thing to talk about in this episode. I think today is these forced relationships, these forced character growths that the season didn't earn at all. Didn't earn any of it. None of it. And we're supposed to buy into this. We're supposed to buy in that Caleb has gone on a season-long journey of accepting Starfleet Academy. When Jed, as you said last week, every time Caleb is on screen, if it's not his episode, he just fades into the background and does what the story needs him to do. Just no arc.
well, they ended up destroying the only good character they had. Again, it was Paul Giamatti, and they boiled him down to just a sad little baby. Or you could have had an actual thing there to make him seriously have a grudge with the fucking Starfleet, but it ended up being he was just mistaken, and through that entire his entire fucking life, he has hated goddamn Starfleet, everything to do with the fucking Federation and Starfleet, and his entire fucking life, he never thought, hey, you know what? I've seen the fire through these blasters because I fought them a whole lot. It doesn't look like the same fire that destroyed my planet.
Take a step back to even conceptualize his hatred of the events. He's talking about living on a mining colony on a planet that has atmosphere and a day-night cycle. He's talking about seeing starships fly by and not ignore. You can't see ships passing by your planet with the naked eye.
And you especially can't tell what's inside them.
Yeah.
They're just assuming.
That whole concept of we just sat there watching them fly by and hoping they stop. You wouldn't be able to say that. I referenced Star Trek First Contact, where Geordi uses a telescope to look at the Enterprise E in orbit to show that you couldn't see it. And the E is not a small ship. Starboard classes are not small ships. Not quite as big as a Galaxy class, but a little more streamlined in terms of that. But still, you can't see a Starfleet ship from space, from the planet. You need to be something the size of a Star Destroyer in orbit, in low orbit too, to see it. And then a Star Destroyer is literally over half a mile long. And a Super Star Destroyer is over 2 miles long.
The best you could end up doing to see something in orbit is wait at night, and then you can see a light. And it looks like a star. It looks like a goddamn star. It's hard to figure out.
Jeremy, you've been watching Stargate. Did any time, whenever there was an attack on Earth, did anybody ever see a Hatak or anything in orbit?
No.
Unless it was an explosion. Unless there was an explosion from Naquadah, which lit up the sky.
Well, you go back to even like when Anubis was attacking the planet, the whole battle over at Antarctica and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that happened. They knew a bunch of people died and there was something crazy going on, but nobody actually knew that happened until fucking what's his name started showing off those pictures. Everybody was oblivious to it. They were like, man, we're out of communications. Oh, they're saying that there's a meteor shower. Oh, that's what happened. Okay, they had to go with it because they couldn't look up and go like, oh my God, there's Anubis's giant ass ship.
Once again, space is big.
Yeah, space is big. Well, we'll get to that in a second. And when I say Star Destroyer, I meant that's why I said low orbit lantern boy. That's why I said low orbit. And even then, you'd have to be passing in front of the sun in that angle for it to cast on it. So it takes a lot to see even large, super-sized Star Wars ships.
I don't think you can even see, even because I'm also watching Atlantis right now, I don't think you could even see Wraith ships in orbit.
No, you can't.
I'm going through my head. No, you couldn't, because even when we, because I also did the Ronan, like the really good Ronan episode where he is captured again, turned back into a runner and back on his planet. Fucking great episode. Oh my God. Ronan's a badass. The race ship was up there in space, and he looked up at the sky a couple times. He didn't see it. It's not there.
So the whole concept of his backstory is flawed. And you notice and you can't say, well, Holly Hunter says with the mind of a child, she actually talked about the ships flying over. So she kind of corroborates that they flew over and doubles down on the stupidity of the whole concept. But Jed mentioned it. Space is big. They actually said how many Omega 47 mines were surrounding Federation. Jed, did you hear it when they said?
I did. I laughed out loud when they said it.
Admiral Deadfair says there are hundreds.
Hundreds of them.
Hundreds. Wait.
Hundreds.
Wait.
Hundreds.
No. Because again, I watched this at 2x speed, barely fucking paying attention. Got fucking through it. The things I did pick up on were like the big story notes. I didn't hear this. Hundreds.
Admiral Deadfair says in the beginning there are hundreds of mines surrounding the Federation, and there's no room to get through.
Let's say arguably this as plushie here is the section of Federation space. Okay, let's just for the sake of argument here. Hundreds would cover maybe his fucking hand.
Maybe.
Maybe.
In my calculations, got it into trillions and trillions. Some people were as low as millions. But no matter how big you assume Starfleet Federation space is, or how big of a blast radius these mines have, hundreds isn't even close.
Now, in relation to this, I do have a comment from Brad in the comment section of his review. People are trying to argue the math of the number of the mines that is legitimate.
No, it's
as hundreds.
No,
I'm
sorry.
Fuck yourself.
Even with the mines having these large radiuses that they have to intersect, because if you cross road, you'll let them all off. Even with that shit, you'd still need trillions to. I'd say billions. I'll say billions, just to be very, very liberal with it. Okay. Hundreds wouldn't do it, even with a larger radius around it. It doesn't math. Even I can figure that out without even using the fucking calculations.
Every mine would need to destroy 100 light years of space at minimum if the Federation is teeny tiny. They said that these mines destroyed a single star system at a time. They specifically were talking about, hey, this system was destroyed by a mine. So, and star systems on average are about a light year, depending on if you end at the heliosphile or the Oort cloud or the equivalent or anything like that. It's hundreds of square light years per mine to make 100 even maybe kind of sort of almost be in the ballpark.
But then you would be able to actually pass through them. You wouldn't have the radius effect like they have. You could
the perfect grid.
Easily. Yes.
There's no gaps anywhere. There's none whatsoever.
And there's and you can't get communication through except for the 2 minutes you needed to start the episode.
I legitimately thought for a second there, lesbian crab person that shouldn't be a woman was actually on the ship, because I was like, you weren't there. You were not there last episode. So why are you here now?
Yeah, it's hologram
communication.
Skype.
I hate that. I think
well, here's the thing. They introduced
like
this. Here's the thing. They introduced holographic communication in DS9, but it was stationary. You had to be standing in a receiver, because they install it on the Defiant in season 4, I want to say.
Yeah, it's like Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's a stationary.
So it's stationary, and you can't, and that's and
you can't interact with the environment.
No, you're literally standing in a ring, and it plays an important role in a few episodes. But
that's fine.
That's when it was first introduced in Star Trek. But it's stationary. You're not walking around interacting with shit. Because how are you walking around in your own environment? How, as we said way back in the first episode, when Paul Giamatti's walk around the bridge, how are you not running into shit wherever you are?
Well, take a look at when they use that style holographic, like the stuff to project you there and all that shit. They use that in Stargate a few times. But the main points is they'll do that to either make you think they're really there, because they know the moment you realize they're not there, they can't do shit.
Yeah,
they can't do anything to stop you.
And now, speaking of holograms, let's talk about
Well,
the Doctor finally revealing the portable emitter.
Oh yeah, I was hiding in it. Real quick before we move on from the mines, though, did you see that they changed the stakes from the last episode?
No, I missed that.
So the last episode said these mines go off, the Federation will be cut off from the rest of the galaxy permanently. No warp travel out of this bubble, right? And no communication outside of this bubble if the mines go off. This one said everyone inside will die when the mines go off.
Yeah, it'll be worse than the burn.
At stake.
Be worse than the
They
burn.
specifically said that they will die, not that they'd be cut off. Last episode was Federation isolated. Those were the stakes. This one is everyone in the Federation dies.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of figured that was going to be the thing the entire time, not just cut off. Why the hell did you think that would be cut off? But also, did you guys hear that they did mention the Discovery?
Yeah, they were afraid the Mycelian network would set it off, which is why I thought they might try and seek Discovery in, but Brad was right. They weren't going to do it. But that answers your question from last week. The Mycelian network is still active, and
which I still don't even fucking know how.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
Fungus in space.
Now I got to ask this though. So there's a question we've been asking all season: how do holograms work?
Who fucking knows?
So the Doctor, I theorized that perhaps he's carrying his portable emitter on him somewhere. He was apparently inside his jacket pocket, which apparently is physical.
You know, you could do something really interesting with that hologram emitter like that. Like it could end up being that, hey, the way we're moving around is here's a little device that once it turns on, it levitates, it moves with you. You can't really see it, and it's kind of hidden within
like
the
in Mass
hard light
Effect
and stuff like
Mass
Effect. Or
the elusive man would communicate with a portable holographic emitter, which would float and create it around him.
You could hide. You could do something neat like a little. Here, I have a Rubik's Cube. A little Rubik's Cube, you know, it's actually inside you. You really can't see it. It has a force field, something like that to help keep it safe. That's how it's moving around and makes you look like you're actually there. Instead, it's
the original portable emitter.
Here's in my pocket.
His portable emitter, when he got it in Voyager, just was on his bicep.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he kept it when he left sickbay. So apparently, though, he can physically keep it inside his jacket pocket because he's wearing actual clothes. What?
And then he can put it inside the ship.
I guess he puts it on the programmable matter pad, and it becomes programmable matter, and then can be reejected. There is no
program.
They don't explain it.
No rules.
And the holograms are so big they cover the entire ship.
Programmable matter is just the latest MacGuffin. That's all I've been able to figure out.
It's bullshit. It's literally nonsense. Whatever they want it to do is what it can do. It's a get out of jail free card. Oh, I can't think of a cool way to solve this problem. There's magic goo.
But did they think they were going to get away with showing the portable emitter? Careful, this is over 1,000 years old. Yeah, it may be, but it also was, and I was hoping Brad would be here to correct me because I forgot to check. The portable emitter was I believe it was 29th century technology.
What if they'd have updated it since then? Just a thought.
Well, obviously they have because he doesn't need it because once again they don't explain how holograms work in this.
They don't explain how anything works because they can't think of a reason for anything to work. They literally just glue it together.
Anyway. We'll take a quick break for
a writer, and I can figure this out.
We'll take a quick break from the discussion for a super chat from Jay Fraser for 20 pounds. Hail, gents and Dermy. Great news for Classic Who. Dalek Master Plan episode 1 and 3 have been found. It features Nicholas Courtney's debut before becoming the Brigadier and the first companion death, dropping this Easter egg on Tortuga. Oh,
this is
Jedi.
Great news. Yeah,
I will let you expand on this since you are you love the Classic Who stuff as much as Dermy does, but you're always hunting for this stuff, aren't you?
So yeah, for those of you who don't know, when Doctor Who was initially airing in the 60s, they didn't record things. There were no physical media. There was no at-home VHSs or anything like that. So a lot of these episodes, they aired and then they were forgotten about. There's so many lost episodes that were just, the film reels were thrown in a cupboard somewhere, lost, destroyed, and stuff like that. But luckily, over the last couple decades, some of them have been discovered. Some descendant of a former BBC employee finds them at their home in a closet in a box or something. And 2 new episodes have been found. I believe they're from the Second Doctor's era, Patrick Troughton's era, if Nicholas Courtney's debut is in it. So these are episodes that, unless you were watching live in 1965 or whatever, 1967, you would have never seen them before.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't some of them like legitimately gone to time because there was a fire that like destroyed a couple of them?
There is some physical damage that have destroyed some. Like Jay Fraser saying, there's still 95 to go. There's still a lot more missing. They have managed to recover some of them. Like some of the episodes, they got all the audio files for the audio reels for it, but they didn't have any of the footage, so they animated them. So there are some 60s 60s recreations of those episodes with the original audio. That animation's trash though, so I hate watching those, but that's the majority of the Second Doctor's era. It's something. But,
yeah.
It is first. It's First Doctor. I didn't know Nicholas Courtney appeared. I thought he didn't appear. As the Brigadier, he appeared in the Second Doctor's era with the great intelligent Yetis in the London Underground. But I didn't know he appeared. This is Doctor.
This is cool because
it's
grabbing the history and bringing it back.
Take a little note of what Jed just said there, though, with the intelligent Yetis under London or whatever. I'm probably
the great intelligent Yetis in the London Underground.
Yeah, you hear that? There's a story there. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds cockamamie. It's all crazy, but there's a story there. What's the story of Starfleet?
Jaden catches.
Yeah, there's no story. Starfleet has zero story. There's not even like a, hey, I could say
okay, all right, no,
it is like this. You can't.
I'm
really
gonna put it out there. Here's the thing. Here's the story. Caleb's speech when he's convincing Tatiana Salami Mommy She-Hulk to change her ways. To his speech, how I know you hate to hear it, but Starfleet's really cool because it gave me a home and it gave me friends and it made me laugh a lot. That's that was his arc. Caleb's coming to grips that maybe, just maybe, he shouldn't be a space bum and hate everybody. Except, where was that in the season?
When he said
where was the conflict he talked about?
When he said he was a master debater.
But seriously,
that's a line. I'm not even.
I know it. I know it. That's why I'm chuckling at it. But seriously, he said, it killed me every time. It hurt me every time. Where was his conflict? Outside the first episode and partial of the second episode, until he just gave up and they made a fort with pillows.
No, there was another time when they were on the Miyazaki.
Oh, okay.
Shit, I hate that. I remember that. And they started talking about the comic, and he said it was nothing more than Starfleet propaganda, and it's bad.
Okay.
Because of fascism. I think that's actually. I think he did call it fascist. I think
it's ridiculous. So there's your story. Caleb's story is supposed to be the story of the season, but it didn't exist. The same way he doesn't actually have a telepathic mental connection with his mother. When him and Princess Tooth, when he comes to her and says, "Here, let's go to my flower room in my mind where you touched my Teddy Ruxpin." She did touch his Teddy Ruxpin.
I know, but the way you say it sounds so
weird.
It's meant to be.
Let's go to my little room where you touched my Teddy.
She touched his Teddy Ruxpin. She did. Well, anyway, they go back to the
sex at the time, so
they go back to the flower room, and he tells her, and it's basically affirmation time. You're great. You're awesome. All your pain and suffering is so you could be great. But then the plan is to use the connection he has with his mom, like whale echolocation, to find her in the Somalian pirate fleet.
But Adam,
what?
It's a connection that only a mother and son could have. A
No,
mother and child.
they took the term family ties way too literally.
It's supposed to be, that whole mothers are best and all that kind of shit, where you have a connection to your mother, which is biological and shit, but not psychic.
Make it stop. I mean, he's not a telepath. For all we know, we don't know who his daddy is, so we don't know if he's got some other hybrid DNA in there. But from all evidence, he's just a human.
Well, we can probably tell that his dad's brown.
Yeah.
Racist.
In Starfleet Academy, he's absolutely a hybrid of some kind. Who isn't a hybrid in this show?
Who isn't? Well,
Jaden, maybe?
Fishboy's not a hybrid.
Well,
his parents are the same race.
Fishboy's not
as
a
far
hybrid.
as we know.
No, fuck a hybrid, though.
Jaden's not a hybrid because he has 2 daddies and a mommy.
No, he's not a Klingon. Point is,
he's not a Klingon, but he is a
hybrid. Point is, he's a human. He doesn't have, and the humans can't. There's nothing in Star Trek says a human can't have telepathy, because I've never seen that they can't. But he doesn't. Tatiana Salami doesn't. How is it possible for Tarima to use his mind to find his mom when she's never actually met his mom outside of touching his Teddy Ruxpin and getting her memories?
And over that amount of distance, when has it ever been established in real Star Trek or this show that her telepathy can stretch across star systems?
The only one that did it was Tam with Tin Man, because he was that's the only time. And that was also
that's next level.
And he's next level. He was the exception, and also at the same time because Tin Man was actually putting out the receiver.
But I can't say his name. ESAL whatever 03. I'm trying, but as a lore core. He brings up why they were able to do it. It's because of umbilical cords.
Umbilical cords. It's permanent.
All right, gentlemen. We don't have any bro scientists on this panel right now, but I will attempt it. Gentlemen, you're gonna have to cut the umbilical cord at some point. You have to. You have to. It doesn't you lose your man points. You have to always cut the umbilical cord. And if a woman tries to then attach one to you, well, that's a red flag, because then she just wants to run your life. So that's my attempt at being a bro scientist.
Don't let her whip you. But in this, it is she pushed him out of her vajayjay, therefore psychic connection powers.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
because
here's the thing.
Maybe she ate the placenta as well. I don't know.
We've talked about this in previous discussions concerning this. The Riker Troy thing, that is years of emotional bonding, where she has created a connection with him, Imzadi. So that takes decades, or at least a decade at first. They were in a relationship for a long time, and you got to be close. We're not talking light years, parsecs, shit like that. You got to be close,
and we're not talking one night stand.
Yeah.
Just because she put her finger in your butthole doesn't mean you guys had that kind of.
She put her finger in his butthole, and then touches Teddy Ruxpin.
Exactly.
But that whole thing broke my mind, because it's the Force. They essentially gave her the Force, because the Force can reach out into the cosmos.
Her power, Adam. Her powers make no logical sense anyway. She can also scream and burst people's brains.
It's a Force scream. It's a Force scream.
It's whatever they want. Her powers are literally whatever is wanted in the moment, just like everything else.
It's the same as Sam. Sam is Super Sam when they need her to be, but then she can be held by physical restraints when she's a hologram when they need her to be rescued.
And be shot. I will never get over the fact that he freaked out because she got shot.
And here's what I hate. Now, and I lost my shit again on this one, too. If you watch my review, I lost my shit. When they're programming the Omega 47, she says, working with an algorithm takes time. It's not like baking a pineapple pie or pineapple cake. All right, chef and baker. Baking is all about time and precision.
But Adam, they have replicators. You can just say, "Give me pineapple pie. Give me pineapple cake."
Doesn't work in that reference, because nobody's thinking replicator. If she had said, okay, it would have worked if she had said, writing an algorithm is not like replicating a pineapple pie, a pineapple cake. Then I could go, then I wouldn't even blinked. But she says baking. She literally said baking a pineapple cake.
Wouldn't an algorithm take less time to make than baking? Actually,
I don't know. I'm no coder.
Adam, not Adam. Jed, you code. What would be faster, writing an algorithm or baking a cake?
Baking a cake by far. Oh my god.
Okay, well then I stand corrected.
But it
depends on what you're writing the code for. An algorithm's stupid fucking complicated.
But the point is, baking still takes time and precision. Because you have to now, if you were an experienced baker, and I'm an intermediate baker at best. I'm an intermediate baker. Baking is not my prime. I bake a lot of different things, but I don't. I can't do pastry. I don't do pastry. I don't do complicated stuff. I do very simple, usually flour, eggs, stuff like that. Easy stuff where I haven't worked with yeast yet either. Point is, if you're at least intermediate level, you have to follow the recipe. You cannot break out of the recipe because then the entire baked good will fall apart. But if you get enough experienced, you can play slightly within a very small margin. Like I will make a cookie a little bit sweeter. I'll maybe put a little more sugar here and more there. I'll add something at the very end. I'll tweak my scones. I'll tweak my crepes. I'll do all kinds of things. I'll tweak it here and there. But it's with very small margins. But it's still a very precise recipe. And when you're baking something, it literally takes time. You can't rush it. You rush it, it's undercooked. Or if you're baking a cake, you stomp around, you destroy it. It falls down, it collapses on itself. So these are people who only, and no offense to people who do not cook for themselves, but this is the era of Grubhub and ordering shit delivered to your door. You don't understand that, cooking things does take time. Not the time you order it on your phone and it gets sent to your freaking door. So once again, we come to the point. The writers, you're only as smart as your writers, and these people are all fucking morons.
Yeah, and I still stand by my position that AI did not write this entire show because, quite frankly, it takes a special kind of stupid to make shit like this. And AI might not be great, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah. See,
this is special.
Elscore gets it. Elscore gets it. Baking takes time and patience. I mean, listen, because I focus on a few things, I experiment a lot. I mess around because it's just for me and maybe my mom. And I try not to give it to my mom because my mom is a very experienced baker of decades. So I try not to feed her my experiments until I feel like they're edible.
But to clarify my point, though, with the writing the algorithm does take time. And like Lantine's talking about, troubleshooting's the real bitch. Oh my. But she is a supercomputer. She processes, it's like data. If Data were writing an algorithm versus a normal person baking a cake, Data's going to beat it. So in her situation, baking a cake should take longer.
Yeah, and I know, and I don't think anybody's criticizing your comment there, but the whole concept is it's back to the whole point. These writers don't understand the real world. They only understand the real world when they want to inject ideology into it. That's the only time they understand it.
Even then, they don't even understand.
Well, yeah, that's because they operate in commie Marxism land. But nothing makes sense. Nothing works, and we'll bring it back to where we started with this. You would think the big reveal of Paul Giamatti's plan would be something truly sinister. No, it's to put the Federation on trial. And now, it says, I don't think Brad's going to make it. I'll read what he said here, what he sent me to read. Regarding the trial, it was not a trial. We don't have that really in Trek. There are some episodes that have trial-like setting: Menagerie, Measure of a Man, Drumhead, Matter of Perspective, Rules of Engagement, Death Wish. Those are trial-like settings, but not a real trial. Court Martial and TOS is probably the one closest to a real trial. What we saw in this episode was more like the trials, quote unquote trials, in The Dark Knight Rises. Trials involve testimony and presentation of evidence. Most of what we see in Trek is a form of a judicial proceeding. For instance, Measure of a Man did not involve much in the way of presentation of evidence. Testimony can be evidence. But There was no presentation of actual physical evidence. There were questions of witnesses, but it was mostly arguments. And that's all he had me write. So from the lawyer's perspective, this thing, I mean,
Well,
we're not supposed to take it seriously, but it's still a joke.
It's still
Well, it
a
was supposed
dumb
to be.
line.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's a letdown.
But like he said, it's supposed. This whole scene was supposed to be. This whole thing was supposed to be like from Dark Knight Returns. No, Dark Knight Rises, where you have the fake trials, where you're having the whole. Well, we already know what we're gonna do to you. We're just doing this because we want to make a whole show of it. They already had
like a Cardassian trial. Like a Cardassian trial where the
already
verdict
had
is already known.
They already had a plan to destroy all of the Federation and everything like that. He wanted to do that, for crying out loud. He had the fucking beeper right there.
The detonator. Yeah.
His whole
He
thing
just
was
wanted to play with this crowd.
Yeah, he wanted a spectacle. That's why when he was having the whole cameras come on him, he was going like, "Listen up, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna keep doing it." He was having a fun with it. He was just doing just shits and giggles because he's a little boy.
And he wanted to try and embarrass Holly Hunter. He wanted to try and make her. He wanted to continue her trauma loop.
I'm really sure if Tatiana Maslany it ended up, and I did that on purpose as well. I'm pretty sure if she ended up saying, "No, I'm not going to destroy the Federation," he'd still press the fucking button. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah. But we had to have her go, "The Federation is guilty."
Because the show actually believes the Federation is guilty.
Oh,
it doesn't
yes.
believe Aki is, but the view of the Federation in the show is so negative. Like, Caleb, oh, this colonization, this fascism, so evil. Why can't you just get food to everyone? Resources?
Because some people just needed body bags.
I don't get why they hate the Federation. It doesn't make any sense.
I love the
This would be-
Federation.
This would be the
When
thing that you guys love. Commie Marxists would love the Federation according to themselves, but for some fucking reason they just hate it. And I don't know if it's because they have this
no,
representation that they believe that the Federation is actually America, so they went to like I'm throwing this out there because I'm trying to figure it out. The only thing I can think of is they think it is a repressive.
I can tell you why they would hate the Federation, because Starfleet is made of competent people who follow rules and expect you to have integrity and honor. And commies don't have that. That's why Starfleet and Federation are not communist, because Starfleet is a meritocracy.
But I get what you're saying there. Like, real Starfleet would be like this. We're also not talking about real Starfleet.
Okay.
Here.
But these people think it's
Starfleet.
communist.
Yes. They think it's already communist. They think it's already like this. So this would be the thing that you guys would love the most, because you would have twisted it and manipulated it to your own agenda to make it all work right. But for some reason, you guys hate it vehemently, and it doesn't make sense unless you guys are trying to say that and I'm taking this to a little bit more political, just because I'm trying to get into their head. Unless they think that the Federation is a representation of America and colonialism and blah, 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 blah. That's the only way I could do that. But at the same time, then your America would have the same ideals that you guys have. So why do you hate it?
White people. I don't know.
You know what? You say that, and it's like that probably could end up being it.
I'm just throwing shit out there because none of this makes sense. None of this sense. And yeah, they also, because they hate, Dash has a right here, they hate the audience. They hate the actual original audience of Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who. They hate the audiences because, but Jed, you've said this before, the actual Star Trek audience, us on this panel, the chat, it's a thinking audience. We like to think about what the episode is talking about, a real episode of Star Trek. We like to talk about it. We like to look at the nitty-gritty of it. We like to have it actually mean something. Not have the ideology, not be bludgeoned with their ideology. And I think we're losing him again because he's not replying to what I said.
Sorry, I heard some of it. I heard most of it. I didn't hear the question part, though.
I lost it in my own explanation.
That's why I was confused. It's like, all right, what am I supposed to say? I agree.
No. But what I'm saying, no. That's also a question. I'm asking if you affirm what I'm saying. Is that the Star Trek audience, the real Star Trek audience, is a thinking audience? Because
yes,
Yes.
Star Trek has always, at least classic Star Trek, appealed to a more intellectual audience of people who want to be challenged and to think through things and, start open debates. It's not supposed to be one of those mindless franchise dumb fun. Like a Fast and Furious audience is vastly different from a Star Trek audience. We want to think about things. We want to be challenged. We want to dive into deep concepts like Measure of a Man, which is my favorite Star Trek episode. Can you really say if Data is alive or not? We can have emotional feelings on it, but from a logical, scientific standpoint, we can't really know. That's what Star Trek is. That's what Star Trek fans like you're talking about, like us classic fans, want, is stuff like that. And there's absolutely nothing like that in Starfleet Academy.
I think they hate fans in general because, yes, Star Trek fans are more analytical. I would say also some Doctor Who fans would be that way as well, but they also hate like Star Wars fans, like you brought up. Like Star Wars fans, we like the swords, the lore, we like lightsabers, we like the magic battles, all that stuff, but they still just hate you. They don't even give you dumb fun. They just want to give you ideology. Take it to just about any franchise you have out there. They just hate your guts. It's why when you get something like Jed brought it up, Fast and the Furious, they know what their audience wants. They want dumb fun, cars, explosion. Jurassic Park, you want giant monster battle. Go do giant monster battle. Godzilla, giant monster battle. Go do giant monster battle. They already know it, so they know what to cater to. Here, it's like, well, we don't even like what it is that we're doing. We don't like who you are. We're taking this for our own reasonings.
Kurtzman admitted it in his speech at the Saturn Awards last week. He said it's about modernism. It's about confirming what he said years ago about turning Star Trek into a vehicle for agenda, because it's not about storytelling. It's about realizing what's going on in the world.
Oh, Fast and Furious directed Star Trek Beyond. Oh, God.
He did, yeah. It was Justin Lin. Yeah, he did Beyond in a lot of the
that
Fast and Furious
explains
movies.
That explains a lot of what Beyond was, because Beyond was just Fast and Furious, but Star Trek.
I hate that. I think it's the best of that trilogy, though, because I hate what JJ did so very, especially Inner Darkness. I hate Inner Darkness with a passion.
Into Darkness is unforgivable.
I
like the first one. I think the first one's the best one, but that's just me.
If you don't look at it as a Star Trek movie, yeah. It's just like,
well, he did say he made it to be Star Wars because he likes Star Wars more than Star Trek.
No, well, listen. When JJ did JJ Kelvin Trek, that was his audition to get into Star Wars. That I remember that. I was like, oh, he's doing Star Trek. He's not going to do Star Wars. He's going to do there. Oh, then he got what he really wanted, to ruin Star Wars, or start the ruination of Star Wars.
You know what? If we go back in time, if you have one chance to go back in time, who do you stop, Hitler or JJ?
Karl Marx.
Okay, that works too.
That is a good answer.
That's always my answer. That's my answer.
That is actually a very wise answer.
Yeah. Right. But then everything's a happy ending. Everything
suddenly somehow.
And I guess Tatiana Maslany read a play overnight because she was fine. Everything's in its mental place.
Well, she doesn't. She's gonna get used.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I forgot. I had to mention this. So remember when they were traveling to the gas giant that was 30 minutes away? That Starfleet Armada got there in seconds from Data's.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Oh, I hate Starfleet ships. I hate them so fucking much.
These aren't Starfleet ships. These are Starfleet ships. Yeah, but Engels couldn't have done it without Marx. Marx and Engels, he couldn't have done it without Marx. Couldn't have done it with Marx. It's called Marxism for a reason. But yeah, so that fleet getting there instantly, it's really.
And all of Paul Giamatti's guards leave. We have the people in the balcony, the hologram people disappear. But what happened to his army?
I don't know. Well, Starfleet Security showed up, and then of course they each get the woman punch him. In the face.
It was so cringe. The slap punch Mama She-Hulk did, and then the saunter punch.
It just lodged a tooth.
They literally defeated him by saying, "Ooh, man, baby," slap some goo on it, big, strong, powerful wham, and punch him. That was how Paul Giamatti was defeated.
Yeah.
So who's the villain for next season?
Us?
Mama She-Hulk, please.
We're the
Well,
villains?
no, because they're gonna have summer vacation bonding time, jumping from
I don't
planet to
know.
planet.
Who knows? Here's the thing. It's not as though they left any breadcrumbs to start another season. All they did, and I've seen this running as memes, is that now everybody has their assigned station. Genesis is the captain. Fishboy is the helmsman. You've got Princess Tooth is comms. You've got Caleb as engineering. You've got Gaiden as as sickbay, and they threw in Princess Tooth's brother as security, but he vanished for 3 episodes. So
Man, he looks really good as security. I mean, definitely could
bro,
stop just about anybody.
Bro, you got to stop. Go build the fort.
He's
Go
thinner
build a
than
fort.
thin. He's thinner than a toothpick. I could break him.
And I think that's everybody.
must break
Oh, it's
you.
Sam. It's Sam is science. Sam is science. Sam is your science officer.
But she's an emissary.
Cisco bar fight. But there it is. There it is. They have their assignments, and I wouldn't be surprised if next season Caleb is engineering yellow. I wouldn't be surprised.
The colors don't mean anything.
Well, yeah. I mean, somebody said it in the chat earlier in the stream. Their roles are all interchangeable. I mean,
Why doesn't Caleb want to be a captain?
because he's a super genius.
He's too
don't
smart
know.
for leadership or some shit
I
like
guess.
I don't.
Remember, Tig Notaro told him that he's better than other people because he didn't leave his friends behind.
But he tried to.
But he didn't.
But he tried.
And now he can focus on engineering. I don't know. This is all retarded. And we just got to say, Tig Notaro was oppressively annoying this entire episode. Way
God,
more.
she
Too
was.
much.
Why was she in this episode so much?
Because what's her fuck went over to be on the trial.
I know, but
and she was one of the only people that
But
was
who-
actually still there. And
who thought it was a good idea?
They did because they think Tig Notaro's funny when she's not.
She's not.
She had, and I had to look it up. It was Community. She's in like 2 episodes of Community.
What?
Yeah, she's a bar owner. She's a bar owner in Community for like 2 episodes. And like when I say 2 episodes, I mean like they're at the very end of the episode. Like
I'm gonna have to
5
look
minutes,
that
and
up
that's
because
the
I
only-
love Community and I can't remember her.
she's in it for like maybe a minute, maybe 2, and she says like 1 quippy line and that's it. Like maybe 1 or 2 quippy lines and that's it. That's the only time she's in it. Oh wait.
Oh
No, she
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what episode it is. It's the episode when Donald Glover turns 21.
Yeah.
When Troy turns 21, she's the bartender at the Red Door.
Anyway,
That wasn't even a cameo. That was, hey, check IDs.
Yeah.
anyway.
And then she had the whole discussion with what's her name when she was pretending to be
Annie?
somebody else.
Tig Notaro was terrible. Tig Notaro was terrible.
She's
And-
horrible.
She's horrible.
There's another time when she does a like she's a bartender in another comedy and she's there for like literally 2 minutes. It is not even
She
that
just-
much. And she has like
You
2
just
lines.
made Community worse for me because she was in it.
Good.
But Adam's
I hate
dying
Community.
listening. Oh, I love
I
Community.
hate Community.
Community
I
is
gave it I gave it the old college try, no pun intended. And I tried. to
Season
watch it.
1 is
When-
not
when-
the best.
When they had it syndicated on Comedy Central, I let it run for about a week in my background,
Mm.
and I just couldn't do it.
The
Season
first
1
3 seasons are the best, and
Yeah.
then 4, 5, and 6 just
I think
go downhill.
season 1
I think
really
5's the worst.
what was 5? Was that the first time when
That's
Alright,
when Hickey was
I'm-
there.
I'm pulling the plug on this. I'm stopping.
We
this
could
now.
go for a while, Dermot.
Yeah, we could go for a while.
I'm hungry. I want to go eat.
I am
dinner.
too. My dad's making steak and I smell it.
and I have food to make myself. Anyway, so I want to ask one last question as we go out the door here. What do we think is going to happen in season 2? Because season 2 is coming. There is no doubt we will return for season 2.
Can't they Batgirl it? Please let them
I
Batgirl
think
it.
they can't. They can't, but I think
because it was part of the contract deal. They've already aired season 1. It's got to happen.
Will they batch drop it? That's what I'm wondering.
I
hope
I don't want that because, damn it, it's content.
It is content, but
I don't think Paramount doesn't do batch drops though.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever have.
They do weekly releases for everything. They didn't batch drop Halo season 2. They didn't get a batch drop season 2 of this shit. And Halo season 1 was as much of a disaster as this season 1 was.
And it does make more sense to just put it all out there like one at a time because it might hurt, but at least you get.
Well, here's the
money's already been thing to do.
The money's already been spent. That's the thing, because this money was spent before Skydance took over, so the money has been spent. There's no going back.
What the marketing will look like, because that's the only additional cost.
The marketing, but then also because of how Paramount runs, I don't know how many people actually pay for the extremely expensive tier, like next level expensive tier to get no ads. It would probably just be smarter for them to put it out there and run ads and get ad revenue.
And if the rumors are true, they went back and said, listen, reshoot your season finale is a series finale. I believe that was the rumors, that once it was clear that it was as bad, they said, okay, you're reshooting.
But Alex Kurtzman says he's in negotiations with Skydance.
Bullshit.
Clearly, he did say that.
Yeah, he has to say that safe face. He has to say that safe face.
His negotiations is, please let me keep this.
Here's how we know.
Wants me.
Here's how we know that he's not in negotiations, because the Ellisons said we're going in a new direction.
No, he teased it by saying that he has a 5-season plan for Starfleet Academy.
The article
Bullshit.
The article from last week, not this past week, but the week prior, they said this is the first time there was no Star Trek in development.
Wait a minute. How could you have a 5-season plan for Starfleet Academy when you're only a cadet? I believe if Brad was here, he could correct me. You're only a cadet for, I think, 4 years, because you can have up to 4 picks.
It's essentially undergrad. Yeah, the final year would probably be them aboard a ship, and they have to take it over. They get given the Athena.
Let me end up telling you what they end up doing. Okay, they treat it just like Harry Potter, and the final year is such a big moment where they have to break it up into 2 different seasons.
Serenity now. Yeah, Kurtzman heading to Amazon, please.
Well, the shocking thing is, I don't know if you know this, Adam. Project Hail Mary is an Amazon Studios MGM film.
Really?
So they're somehow capable of making something good.
Well, Amazon is good when they're hands off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were definitely hands off with this. A lot of it was self-funded. They're practically just the distributors, because Ryan and Andy and the directors did a lot of the funding.
That's what Amazon essentially is. It's a distribution company, and that's what it's good at.
Oh, same thing with Netflix. Almost every platform that does streaming, if they are just hands off, let the person do their thing, the content's usually pretty good. There's a lot of Netflix shows that are like that. Freaking my favorite one is still Alice in Borderlands. That last season they finally got involved because they wanted another season, and it was not good. And it killed the show.
The only possible hope for Stargate's revival, because it's a revival, it's not a reboot, it is a revival, because it's got it's got everybody that used to be involved in some way, shape, or form coming back, and with Joe with Malazzi as the showrunner, they're taking 2 years to do this now. They're starting production this summer in London.
I hope that's a good sign. Like they're taking time to make sure they get it right. These are the right people. And if it starts with the Jack cameo,
RDA's he's completely retired. He's not.
But I mean,
people have come out of retirement before for brief appearances,
and
his kids have grown up. It's not like they still need him there every day like they did when he left Stargate.
And you could do like a little cameo, just have him go like, "Hey,
some voiceover.
This used to be like a voiceover," or have him there like at the very end going like, "This is the new generation," or something like that, which I don't like. But I don't know how you would even do like a.
Oh, here's the problem. Here's the problem. The Milky Way galaxy. There's no story to tell in the Milky Way galaxy anymore. Even if you
Have
jump
to be
forward a little bit.
another Atlantis situation.
You'd have to have you only way to do that is the Wraith have arrived in Milky Way. That's
which
the
would be
only
pretty cool.
way. Which
It
what
would be
extinction
cool.
was. That's what extinction was supposed to be. But you still have the Destiny. And sorry, during spoilers, but you know about universe, so I'm not really spoiling. But you'd have to go to other galaxies.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried that with Destiny, and it didn't work because, well, Sci-Fi Channel got over. They got over.
There were more issues with universe.
A lot of issues.
It just being
with universe
separated. Yeah.
Obama was part of it.
And there was exhaustion.
I got to the episode of Stargate SG-1 where you get them teaming up with Atlantis just for one episode, and it's like, motherfucker, I hate Obama now. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Barry destroyed the home DVD market, which is why with the bad economy in 2008, 2009, which is why we never got Extinction and why we didn't get Atlantis season 6.
What's the name of Jack's actor?
Richard Dean Anderson.
Richard Dean. I don't know where Paul came from. Richard Dean Anderson. Did you see his birthday stream he did a little while ago?
No.
There was a podcast for it. Someone was celebrating his birthday, brought him on, and Christopher Judge left him a message, and it was heartwarming, a great message. And after watching the video, Richard just went, "Who was that?"
That's the fun. That's his humor. That's
it was so great. He looks great. He really does look great.
Actually, he
I
got
mean, like
really
his hair's gone.
He got really fat at one point. Okay, oh, that's good. That's good. He got really fat at one point during retirement.
At least it looked like it, yeah. But that was it was great to see. I just saw a clip of it, and it's like, all right, he's doing well.
Yeah.
I'm terrified for the Stargate reboot.
I never wanted it to happen. I mean, I just leave it alone at this point. Leave it alone.
But you're right. The only way you could do it is unless they're going to say that the Stargate became like such a prolific thing, everybody knows about it, and there's a new story to tell that way. Like the Stargate.
I would say something, but it would spoil it for Dermy, so I can't say a comment that I usually say when talking about the end of Stargate. But you have to
fuck Obama.
Well, you have to finish Atlantis for you to make this joke, but I can't make the joke. Point is,
the end of Atlantis, and I don't like it. I'm in season 3. I don't want it to end.
Well, have fun while you got it. Have fun while you got it. And you got season 4, and then you got season 5. Well, you got season 4. Then you can watch Continuum, and then you got season 5, and then you can watch Universe just to have watched it. You know.
Yeah, but Universe is at least good to watch once.
It's good to watch once. I mean,
there is value in it. Robert Carlyle, I think,
he's fantastic. Actor. He is fantastic, and he really is good. Lou Diamond Phillips isn't bad. He's not bad. Anyway,
Continuum's
so
the one when Continuum's the one when they do the trial for Ball, right?
It's where it's it's right here. It's right here. Yeah, it's where they start. It starts with they capture the last Ball clone, and they put him on trial for that's essentially he's the last of the Gould system lords at that point, the very last.
I only know that because I saw the trailer and it looks so fucking good.
All right, Continuum without spoilers, because remember you have to watch Continuum after you watch Atlantis season 4, because that's you have to watch it right after Atlantis season 4. Continuum, I didn't like it at first, and I'll explain why when you watch it. We can have a discussion about it sometime on stream or something. But for me, it took a couple watches to really appreciate the movie for what it was, and there's a couple things that are like, but we could talk about it after you've watched it.
I also like the Ori a little bit more now.
Oh, you're getting into it. Hallowed are the Ori.
They're a menace, and I love it.
Here's the thing: they're massively overpowered. They're unlike anything that anybody ever fought, because the Gould pretended to be gods. These are literally fucking godlike beings.
I finished. I got to the season finale. I think I'm episode 5 or 6 of season 8. No, 9. 10.
Oh, 10. Okay. Okay.
The final season. I'm on the final season.
Okay, so you got through. Okay, chat. We're just gonna have a little break here, so we're gonna have a little fun before we go. You got to the point that you got that season 9 mid-season finale where they come through the super gate and just annihilate. And the poor Russians, they finally get their ship, and it gets annihilated.
I saw beforehand, okay, the strongest race out there was always the Asgardians, okay, other than the replicators. Nothing could beat the Asgardians.
Yeah.
Those four or five shits just come through. They just come through and they annihilate everybody, including the Asgardians. It's like, wait, what?
Those Ori super beams, dude. Ori super beams.
I was like, what the fuck? And then you got the little girl who's like, what the fuck are you? What the
Well,
fuck?
Vala's daughter. See that? So you don't know who's going to take over as the actress to play the adult version yet, do you? You haven't seen it.
You'll like that.
If I'm gonna take a
I'll let it be a
gander.
surprise. No, I'll let it be a surprise.
Well,
She's
what
hot.
I was thinking,
She's hot.
'cause
She's hot.
I could bet she's hot. But what I was thinking, because I started looking at her and I was trying to think, when did this air in comparison to Buffy?
It has nothing to do with Buffy.
No, the reason why I was saying that is because
Oh.
is it Buffy's adopted sister?
Nothing to do with Buffy.
No. Different series, though. Different series.
Well, I mean that actress is
Around the
different.
same time.
Now
Anyway.
she's dead though, so R.I.P.
Well, we're not. Yeah, we're not talking about her, but no. Yeah. So you're gonna love who they got to play. I forget her character's name. Shit.
It was like Ilaria. It was named after Vala's stepmother, who's a witch.
Yeah. So
And Vala has grown on me a lot.
I told you. Claudia Black is Audria. Thank you, Dash. Audria and Lantian Boy. Thank you, Audria. Yeah, Audria.
She had her heart. That episode when she's doing the whole like getting screened to join Stargate and everything like that. Her heart was in the right place the whole time, and you're like, I want her to do this. I want her to do well because I could see you're trying hard.
Vala gets so much and she's not even there the whole season. She's only there for half a season in season 9 because then she gets booted for because now there was the joke. Now you guys wouldn't guess if you watch Farscape when she comes back through replacing and she says I'm pregnant and Cam goes well that's because of the whole pregnancy jokes that's a Farscape reference. Don't worry,
I remember that joke and being really confused. Is this a setup for a time travel?
No.
This is a different universe.
It's a Farscape inside joke because of all of Crichton and Aaron being pregnant with Crichton's baby, but it was from a different Crichton. You gotta watch Farscape to get it. So that's totally a Farscape joke, but that is totally Ben Browder and Claudia Black having a little fun.
And Ben Browder has Ben Browder has really grown on me.
Like Ben Browder's great. And if when you get to Farscape, you'll understand what I said, that Cam is Crichton light. He's Crichton light, but in a good way. It's Crichton if he was full military and not just scientist. Anyway, so Farscape and Stargate and good things. We ended our Starfleet Academy discussion talking about great things.
I am planning on watching Farscape once I'm done with Stargate.
Oh,
I am planning on.
I think you're gonna.
The puppetry is incredible.
That's Henson magic at its best.
Mm-hmm.
That's early 2000s Henson magic at its finest, and I love it. But we got to end this because I'm hungry. Dermy's hungry. Jed, I bet you're hungry too. I'm starving. Thank you, one and all, for joining us. Let's say our farewells until the next stream we're all on together because, well, we're very incestuous here. Dermy.
Yes.
Doing anything else tonight?
I should. I need to set up for a stream to continue more Resident Evil, but I'm also hungry, so I don't know what time that's going to be.
Yeah, that's
It's usually about here in 30 minutes, but I need to.
Yeah, but we started late. It's my fault. My haircut got delayed, so that's why we started late today. It's my fault. So you may or may not stream tonight, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You could take the night off. It'd be okay. Jed, your internet sucks. You ain't doing shit tonight.
No, not tonight, that's for sure. But you can all find me on YouTube at Endless Frontiers. As soon as I can figure out a way to fucking upload it to YouTube, my Project Hail Mary review will be out. I finished it at 11 this morning, and I'm still trying to upload it.
Oh,
it's insane. I went to McDonald's for an hour to steal their free Wi-Fi, and it wasn't enough. So as soon as I figure it out, that review will be up. Yeah. It's about almost 40 minutes long, spoiler free.
That's a lot for you, dude. That's a lot,
especially spoiler free.
Yeah. All right.
And so that'll be up as soon as I get a chance. Hopefully, I'll be on Roundtable tomorrow. If Spectrum allows me, but because of all these issues that I'm having, I can't host any streams. So Rider Flight will be delayed until Thursday when I'm set up at the new studio. But that's all I've got for right now.
Jed's moving next week, so good luck.
Yeah.
On that. He's moving sucks. No matter what, it always sucks.
Well, especially because we're just using our cars for right now. We've made about 7 trips.
Well, listen, I've done that too. If it's a local move, I've done the short trips to get what you can to save.
It's about an hour and 40-minute drive each way.
Yeah, I mean, right here, if I can get lucky enough to do a lateral move in a few months, all this shit I'm moving in my car. I'm not gonna put it in I can put it in a box and put it in my car. I don't need to. The moving company is for the big furniture in the other room.
Exactly,
that's what it's for.
When I
anyway,
I'm just getting a U-Haul and a bunch of family vehicles. So
yeah, as for me, considering also how late it is, I still have to first put dinner in the oven, make it cook, eat it, something like that. I'm probably not gonna stream anything else tonight, but I probably will play some Star Wars, just hanging out, playing that because I want to have fun. Anyway, but we will be back tomorrow with Roundtable at 3 p.m. Eastern. Jed can attest to this. I really have no idea what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I have no idea. So we'll see what happens tomorrow on Roundtable. Might be a short show. Anyway, thank you one and all for joining us on this journey of Starfleet Academy. We appreciate you guys showing up, those both old and new to the channels. Hit those like buttons, leave comments, subscribe, and we will catch you guys on the next live stream. Until then, take it easy, everybody.